You're listening to Real Restaurant Radio, the show that inspires up-and-coming restaurant and bar owners, along with current operators, to pursue their passion in the restaurant business. I am your host, Kostas Lazanas, and I'm joined, as always, with my good friend, Cary Hodson. Let us guide you through the process of being a successful owner and teach you how to make an impact in today's culinary world. Episode 16 of Real Restaurant Radio. Wow.
Cary Hodson,
and
live.
And Kostas Lazanas.
I'm alive.
Yes. Hey, we just had a fantastic St. Patty's Day weekend. How was yours, man? I heard you had like a little 5K and stuff you did?
Yeah, we had 200 runners this year, so that was cool. We served green beer. It's a point of contention, amongst the craft breweries.
It's like one drip, right?
1 or 2 per pint.
Because if you do 2 or 3 or 4, it gets like really dark really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it starts staining your tongue.
All those things, and you had where your leprechaun fingers at? I guess you weren't handling the dye, were you?
Yeah, but I wash my hands.
Yeah, but that stuff stains.
It stains. Yeah, clip your nails.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was our busiest day of the year so far. So
I thought you said trunk or treat. I thought you said trunk or treat is like your busiest day.
No, of the year so far.
Oh, the year so far, because October's not. Gotcha.
Not
Okay.
Yeah, I always start in January because I don't know. I guess as the year goes on, it gets better.
Yeah.
It dips up. It goes ebbs and flows, right? But
absolutely.
It's usually kind of slow until Valentine's Day is kind of people start going out again. Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty standard.
That's what I say too. We talked about this before about hedging against the slow times.
Right.
We both had that same cycle of slow period.
Right. So we tried not to hire a bunch of extra people during that time, but I think it's hiring season now.
We're talking about events today. Events, I think, is certainly a new kind of phenomena for restaurants, mom and pop restaurants.
Well, I mean, you can't just build it and they'll come anymore. There's lots of ways restaurants are trying to get the word out. A website's not enough. Being on Google and ad pages is not enough. A lot of people are doing DoorDash and Uber Eats, and that I think that is actually a useful tool now. I'm on board.
Oh my gosh! After a year of him fighting and clawing, now all of a sudden he's a cheerleader for it.
I mean, it
sucks. I know, but hey,
hard. It's still hard for lots of reasons, but
sure,
not this episode.
Okay, not this episode. This episode, we're talking about events, why you should create events for your restaurant, and why events are important tool to have in your marketing, closet.
Yeah, and how to do it in a way that isn't detrimental, right?
Yeah. I think so. I learned about events and creating events from a brewer that kind of befriended me when we first opened up, Brad Perkinson. He actually owned Firewall Brewing Company, and I remember seeing an event for his dog's birthday.
Like, why would you do that?
Why would he? I'm like, that's so stupid.
Celebrate everything.
And then I went over there because I saw the event, and I saw people were there celebrating the event with him, and that it was a light.
They themed it. They had dog treats for the dogs.
Yeah.
Other people brought their dogs.
All those things, and my mind was blown. And this is when I first opened up the restaurant because I was running a Greek restaurant from an old Greek man.
Did y'all open at the same time? Around the same time?
He opened a year before I did.
Oh, wow.
I think 12. He opened up in 12. I opened up in 13.
Okay.
But, I've never seen this before. Like, I at Olive Garden and Saltgrass, and then I worked at this mom and pop restaurant in Plano. We never did events. We never planned anything. Like, they would release a special at Olive Garden once every 6 months, but that was it.
That doesn't count.
Yeah, it was just a new menu, revised menu. That was it. So when I saw that he used Facebook and created an event for something, I thought that was like so genius, and I've been doing it ever since.
Right. I think Pint Nights got really popular for a while. Do you think they're still? Does that count?
That's
as an event.
I was gonna pause and let you interject, but the next sentence that was gonna come out of my mouth is like, I was saying I'd been doing that since 2013, but now it's like almost 2020. So it's like I think again, people are getting dull to those Facebook events. Like there's an event, like you said, for everything, and it was hot back then when it first started out, but now it's like everybody's got like a pint night every day of the week. And I remember like episode 2 or 3, we were talking about how we have to like douse like hula hoops in fire and then like jump through them while like doing a ukulele song and all these things. Like it's crazy. We have to up the ante every year.
It doesn't have to be gimmicky, but it does have to be a unique experience.
Unique experience. And I think we're always on that quest to find like that most unique experience that we can do for
everyone's cabinet's full of glassware. And unless it's a really cool Teku glass with a couple of really cool beers, then lots of times you can't just say pint night, free glass every Wednesday.
Sure.
I think that's kind of tailed off. It needs to have a little more effort put into it.
Yeah, exactly. But with everybody barrel aging beer and everybody doing this and everybody doing that, like, how do you stand out from the crowd, especially as a brewery in North Texas in this saturated beer market?
I mean, not all of our events are just about beer.
And I think that's where your creative like hook comes in. Like, throw in some really awesome food. You know?
Yeah.
I always say, come for the food, stay for the beer.
Or both. The other way around works too.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. I guess, as a restaurant, we obviously carry a lot of craft beer on tap at Opa. And I actually do a lot of events actually centered around craft beer. So I think that's why we're in the same room together because, obviously you see that I'm really involved with craft beer and you are as well. And we see
value in what each other does.
Yeah, 100%.
I think a lot of people, since we distribute, some people's first experience of us is online or at another bar or restaurant, and they have our beer, and then they're like, oh, that's a brewery. Oh, I want to go there. And they're like, oh, they do barbecue. And then...
Kind of like the concept with Brain Dead, right?
Right. What do you mean?
And don't they distribute as well, and they also have a restaurant?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't been there yet, so...
What? Okay.
I haven't, so...
Wow.
Is that a...
Surprise.
Is that a bucket list I need to do?
Yeah. I mean... Not just a bucket list, but just like something you do regularly.
Okay. I could just never get past Intrinsic. When I go out, I'm like, I gotta go to Intrinsic. So.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, so events. What are some of your biggest events that you've put on? Maybe that could inspire or kind of get.
If you do one a year, it has to be your anniversary. You have to celebrate your anniversary. Right?
I think so. I think we talked about the 80-20 before, and I think. 80% of your business comes from 20% of your customers. And not only are you celebrating yourself, but you're celebrating, your loyal customers. Then they want to be there. Right. Hey, like we made it a year. Come celebrate with us. Like, thank you for all you've done for us all year long.
Right. And, you get to spend extra time shaking hands and cheersing and talking to your customers and celebrating your staff. That's probably the next thing you should do is have a staff party.
It's a beautiful thing. I haven't had a staff party yet because I know you have them the day after your anniversary.
Right.
You shut down and take the staff out, which is really awesome.
So we take all the money we made on our anniversary, shut down the next day, and spend it all on our staff party.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
It's worth it.
Yeah, the anniversary. I've always done an anniversary. Normally what I will do is like a tap takeover at my restaurant with a chef dish. And with a tap takeover, normally I can get more out of a brewery if I can get 6 of their beers on tap.
Sure.
They'll throw in some T-shirts and some swag and some glassware and all these things. And
we do a discount on 3 kegs. We get 3 kegs, you get a discount. That kind of thing.
All those things. So I think that's really important to do. Obviously, if you don't have a license to do alcohol, I think just doing
collaborations.
Yeah, or even just doing like a 10 by 10 tent out in your front of your business. If you're a landowner. If your landlord allows you to do it or whatever it is, just having something, a little banner, just putting a little effort into it, basically.
Sure.
And it does take effort. It does take time to like create a one-off menu that you got to sit there and you might have leftovers on, but like it's about creating that experience. And I think you have to get out of your comfort zone and get out of your mundane task and put some energy and effort into creating something that your guest will recognize and enjoy.
Yeah. I mean, I have 5 kind of quick notes of stuff you have to do for any event.
Okay, tell me what you have to do.
Any event.
I want to do an event, Cary. Like, what do I got to do to have a successful event at my restaurant?
Off the bat, you got to have clear goals, number of people, what space you're going to use, permits, that sort of thing. Is this private? Is it public?
Are you talking about events on your restaurant or events offsite?
I think both. I mean, a lot of events that we do are solely on our property. Some we do that involves, like the 5K or concerts in the street, or we do the urban flea market once a month.
Okay.
But you still have to have these key principles.
So these apply to not only in your restaurant or outside the restaurant.
Right.
All right. Number one.
Clear goals. How many people, the space you're going to use, is it private? Is it public? Are you going to have a VIP section, right? Number two is budget. Because if you don't have your expenses in check and you forget about a high dollar item, like crap, we didn't think about putting T-shirts in, how much the T-shirts are going to cost, then that'll eat you up.
Because a T-shirt can range from $5 to $25, depending on the amount of inks you use and the cut of T-shirt you use.
Right, and then you don't want to end up over-promising a bunch of stuff, a bunch of swag, yada yada yada, and then the ticket sale's so high that nobody buys one or nobody comes to your event because that's a bust. Your expenses are like your food and your drinks are usually your highest expenses, I would say, for events that restaurants do. Decorations, you don't think it's going to cost a lot, but then you start going to Party City or getting on Amazon and buying decorations, and all of a sudden you're at
$200.
Yeah, easy. And then I think something people forget about is the cost of advertising. You have to build that in. That has to be part of your thought process in creating an event.
So when you talk about advertising, what would you do for an advertising for an event?
Well, you have to have flyers inside your restaurant. If you can get away with putting them other places, that's great. I still am a very strong believer in social media. Depending on the type of event, you might go ahead and post it on Nextdoor. Maybe you have video promotion expenses, ahead of time that you need to budget for. And then Facebook advertising.
So, how much money would you spend on a Facebook advertisement post? Like, you say $50, or do you do $100 post? Like,
I'd say 5 to 10% of your budget.
Okay.
For the event.
Okay.
Or if you kind of think of it in terms of how many people are coming, what is the ticket price? How many dollars per person am I willing to spend? It kind of puts it into an easy perspective for me.
Sure.
Right. It's like, would I spend $1 a person?
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's all those things. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then kind of back to budget with the food part, but a little more in depth, you have to have strategic meal planning. And you've done this a lot. I've seen it with our collaborations or like with our New Year's Eve dinner. If you don't know how much money you're going to be spending on each dish, the meal cost on each thing you're given, then you can easily make no money.
You can. Yeah, definitely. It can be a bust if your food costs get out of control.
Right.
Portions and stuff like that.
And then pick the right day. You don't want to cannibalize on your best days. Usually, I certainly don't. If you're already, usually you look at your past years. If you're lucky enough to have that information, maybe you're already busy on that day, or maybe it's falls on Cinco de Mayo and there's a bunch of other events already going on that day, and your event isn't themed properly, or there's like an event at the restaurant across the street that day, and parking is going to be an issue. So just be mindful of your competitors as well, and then advertise often and early. It's never too early to start advertising. Go ahead and make that Facebook event out and put it out there, and you'll get some interest, right? And then you can start developing interest on that page. More and more people will click interested or going, and then every time you post on that event page, they'll get an alert, and it'll kind of like be a reminder, getting them ready to show up to the event.
I think 30 days is a good amount to. I think that's like the latest you need to post your event, about 30 days out.
I'd say 30 days to 60 days.
30 to 60 days. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if it's a super big event, 60 days, exactly. And then I think really start pushing the promotions 14 days out as far as like hitting out reminders, because people do have an attention span. Like they do be reminded like 5 to 7 days out from the event. Like,
well, nobody plans their weekend 2 months in advance, right?
Exactly.
But you want them to know about it.
And plus, just to clear your own time, just know that you already get all your paperwork done, and it kind of helps you organize yourself by actually creating the event and things like that.
And your staff, then they're prepared for it.
All the
It's
things.
coming down the line, and so in the back of their mind. And then, like you said, about 2 weeks before the event, that's when you really start
ramping up
right,
promotions.
And then the week of the event, that's when you know, if you haven't already started your paid advertising, that's when you start pushing.
Isn't that sad that we just like our like fathers who ran restaurants or whatever, the people in that generation, they just like built the restaurant and like people would just come there and eat.
Is that true? I don't know. I think a lot of restaurants didn't work out then too.
I know, right? I know.
Or they had it harder and they had to, get newspaper ads and
that's true.
Pay a guy to go door to door and put flyers on doors.
Yeah, I was making a joke out of that, but I'm glad you said that because I mean we live in this fascinating world, and the sad thing is like why are you not taking advantage of this medium that we use? Like whether it's video or like no one's doing it, and I'm like it's there, it's free. It's free. Like it doesn't cost you anything. It's a little bit of energy and effort, but it's a free advertisement, and people see these things, and it gets suggested like upcoming events in your area. I'm not sure if you saw it when you're scrolling on your Facebook feed, but I'm like, here are some suggested events. Mm-hmm. Like I think that there's a beer fest coming up. I think late March.
Yep.
And
Texas Beer Fest.
I didn't know about that, but
just kind of pops up.
It just popped up on the events, like upcoming events, suggested events, stuff like that. So, guys, if you're not doing events at your restaurant, you need to start doing events at your restaurant.
But you can't overdo it. You don't want to have you don't want it to be mediocre. You want to make sure that it's a high quality event every time. You want people who are coming for that unique experience to have a good experience.
I agree with that.
So I'd rather not do something if I don't think I can do it.
Sure.
Well.
No, I agree with that. Sometimes, otherwise, people would probably be desensitized to your event if you start posting events and they show up and it's like nothing really special.
Right.
So
we've all made that mistake.
No, I've done some.
Something fell through. Someone didn't. The mechanical bull didn't show up or something.
Something like that. You talked about not cannibalizing your weekends, and I would say that like, I think I hate to say this online, but I could just say it. You're obviously a more successful business than I am as far as your volume and all these things that you're doing. But for me, it's like I've tried to do events. I think you actually showed up to an event. I tried to do it like during the week. I guess it wasn't the right event for the right time because I think it was like a 5-course beer dinner, which I guess is not really that sellable for a Tuesday night.
I don't think I could do that.
No, yeah.
5-course beer dinner in the middle of the week.
Yeah, so I mean, I did still sold I think 12 tables or something like that. So it was still.
It's just kind of expensive for middle of the week. You got to know your crowd,
yeah,
right, and who's around you.
All those things. So it's really complex. I've had some really fantastic. I mean, our collaboration dinner was freaking amazing. All of them that we've ever done have been basically packed house. So we've always had great times with those.
Weekdays are always hard for events. Yeah,
they are. But I like that one you did recently. You did the chicken fried brisket on a Tuesday night. No alcohol, so you can just eat a brisket and go home. Obviously, order alcohol if you want a beer or something like that. But it's inviting to everybody, and that's what's good about food events versus like beer events is like the whole family can come in. Like the kids can order one, the wife can order one, everybody can order one.
Right.
The aunt and the grandparents can come in. So having a really freaking home run on an entree or a food item, that's a really great thing to do.
Yeah, we lucked out with that one. I mean, it could have been a bust, but now we do it every week, and it's been doing well for us, and we don't have to advertise as much as we used to.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. That's it's so funny. My thing this year, and I just showed you this really nice mahi dish that I created, but I want to use my knowledge of video and videography, and see if I can capture and promote a dish that will just blow up type thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because a lot of restaurants are just known for a certain dish or a certain item, whether it's a side of grits or a chicken fried brisket in your case.
Well, that was the goal with this. It's take your name, so Intrinsic, home of the
chicken fried brisket.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought. I kept thinking Intrinsic, home of the what? It's like, oh, well, we do and this other stuff. It's like, no, it needs to be very clear.
And very unique and very niche.
Right.
Because you can't just say home of the best brisket. You can't just say best brisket. Intrinsic.
Home of the beer and barbecue.
Yeah, because
There's other
everybody's
places do
beer and barbecue.
Right.
Exactly.
So that's what kind of stuck with me. We had talked about this a little bit in the 80-20 rule, but that came out of the experimental menu side.
Yeah. Okay.
And that we went for it.
You know, one thing that I haven't pushed hard is our smoked brisket pasticcio. And I think that with the right motor behind it, the right engine behind it, pushing it, I think that could be like Food Network worthy entree.
That's super unique, great, and very interesting fusion too.
It's Greek barbecue. I don't think that's ever been done before. I really don't. Like, I don't think there's ever been a smoked brisket pasticcio ever made.
I don't. We can try to Google it.
I did already. Trust me.
Oh, okay.
No, it's never been done before.
That's
So
good.
pioneering on that, and I thought like that smokiness of that brisket just really popped with the tomato. Anyway, getting off topic, but yeah, and that was actually an event. I think that was our a collaboration dinner we did or something like that.
Maybe. Oh yeah, it was at our place first.
It was at your place first,
It was
right?
a monthly special we did.
Yeah. So, creating events super important. What are like? Have you had any like events that were like a flop that maybe that our viewers could learn from, or?
There's one we're not doing this year, which is the crawfish boil. It's very difficult. Lots of special permits. Very expensive to do. So the profit's almost zero.
I don't even know what do crawfish go for a pound. I don't even know.
$3-4 a pound.
Okay.
But if it's an all you can eat scenario, plus there's
a lot of that poundage is like shell, like so out of the real meat out of there. So it's really like almost $8 a pound. And
I
once you
can
just get the
take
pure...
down 5 pounds for lunch easy.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus there's a lot of waste too, because I'm sure people only eat like the fillet in the middle type.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Type thing.
Right.
And they probably waste a lot of the extra meat especially if it's all you can eat.
Right. So I don't know. In the beginning, we needed to do some events that we could kind of chalk up to advertising. Like it was getting our name out there.
Sure. Are you still doing the alligator event? Because that was bomb.
That was the crawfish boil.
Oh, you did the alligator there?
And the
Okay.
crawfish.
Oh,
Yeah.
darn.
Yeah.
Darn. Hey, that was awesome.
I don't know.
I'll never forget that photo with you had the alligator.
I'm getting a lot of questions about it.
I don't know, but I don't think didn't you have somebody didn't you have PETA with pitchforks outside the restaurant?
No, someone did say, "Oh my God, I'll never eat there again." Who would want to see a whole animal roasted on a pit?
I would.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember what I said if I said anything.
That's funny. Maybe you wrote him a haiku.
Oh no, I think I just let the public defend me.
There you go.
So, what are some of the other events you do?
A lot of mine are centered around the holidays. So, we just did a shepherd's pie, and we did an Irish red ale for St. Patty's Day. That was really successful.
Just people are looking to go out.
Exactly. And I want to do something a little different. Everybody does the green beer, like you just said, you do the green beer yourself. I was like, instead of doing green beer, what if I do like a really nice, authentic Irish red ale? And I found one of the best Irish red ales, I think, that's being made right now in North Texas by Pedicolas. I really like their red ale. Do you do a good red ale at Intrinsic?
We have one now, but it's got habaneros in it.
Okay.
So not quite.
Irish Mexican.
We had the wet hopped red ale with Steam Theory that we did too.
Nice.
That was really good.
Okay, I have to try that one day. I know coming up Easter, being a Greek restaurant, Greek Orthodox, we actually celebrate Easter on a different Sunday on the I think Gregorian calendar versus the other I don't know. Anyway, just long story short, Greek Easter, Orthodox Easter is separate than like American Easter. So we're going to capitalize on traditional Easter, which we're not really going to promote for. Like you just said earlier, don't promote on a day that you're already going to be busy.
Right. So you're busy on.
Yeah, but no one knows about Greek Orthodox Easter. So we're going to have a Greek Easter celebration, and we'll actually roast a whole lamb on the spit, make Greek Easter bread. And I'll actually go to Big Lots and buy some like little eggs and put them in our garden and let the kids go.
Oh, that's cool.
I tell them 2 eggs per person.
Well, it's good themed around the culture of your restaurant, right?
Exactly. So just picking that type of thing, and
but familiar enough where people will want to come do it.
Exactly, and then unique enough too, like with the whole lamb on the spit, and we'll actually take that lamb and like chop it up and make like roasted lamb sliders, and that's really fun. Serve that with some feta fries or something like that.
Kind of want to do a beer hunt, like give people a 6-pack, and they run around looking for cans of beer.
Oh, for Easter?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can get away with that though.
They'd have to pay. I guess they have to pay. Yeah, I guess that would work. But
Yeah.
everybody would be like grabbing just the barrel aged stuff, right?
Oh, whatever they find.
Yeah, yeah.
And hide it out in the park.
Yeah, be careful with like people like.
We're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, cross your T's.
Maybe
not
just on the patio.
That sounds fun though.
What about live music? Do you think that's real important, or is it just kind of an everyday thing for you?
You know
or
what?
Is it an event?
Your venue definitely holds live music. You have a live music venue essentially. I mean, you
Right.
have a stage.
We have a stage,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I don't have that. I have just a restaurant.
Well, so
we
there's
have
people
a
with
guitarist
both.
sometimes. All these things. I think you tell me. Actually, I'll let you take over here. Like, what does live music do for you? I mean, it's got to draw in a crowd.
Yeah, it draws in a crowd depending on the band, and it definitely keeps people around longer if they're good. Hopefully, it is effort and it does cost money, but it's kind of part of what we do. So I'm not sure. I think people just kind of expect it now. I'm not sure that we can say it's an event. We do very much appreciate when the band that we have coming or the artist we have coming creates a Facebook event on their page. We'll go ahead and add it to our page. I like that kind of more organic.
I like that.
Supporting artists.
Look, artists.
And then if we definitely have live music at every event we do. So
What's good that once you're building up so many live artists that you do, I'm sure you might even get like some up and coming artists that just may want to play for you for free just to play in your venue.
Sure.
So having that, I mean, obviously they wouldn't play
That
for me
helps.
for free, but they would play.
They might.
But your venue's big enough to where they're like, man, like it becomes prestigious enough to where like, hey, I want to come play at Intrinsic and get my name out there possibly.
Well, with the indoor and outdoor options, if someone does want to listen to live music or doesn't, they can choose, which I think that helps.
Because some people get turned off by live music.
Right. How big is your patio? How many people fit on there?
You know, my patio's really narrow. It's like more of like I can fit probably about 40 people on the patio.
Have you thought about putting a musician like out in that kind of corridor area
Yeah.
between the patios? It would help the other restaurant. Maybe y'all can split it or
Something like that. Yeah, I think
cool.
It was something that we should definitely look at. Figure out how it would work out with like the echoiness of like the breezeway and all. There's a lot. There's a little.
That's true.
Little strategy involved. And it turns out there's the breeze. It's called the breezeway for a
because
reason.
there's breeze coming.
Yeah,
through.
like it's like a vortex. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Right.
That's why it's called the breezeway.
But I've seen you do like a harp event, right? And then Valentine's Day, you'll have someone.
I
come
try.
play.
I try to do something tasteful, but again, like you just said, ROI. So if you drop $120 on an artist, and your sales, increased by $120, like you lost money, you know,
Yeah.
So-
But then all your other customers gained a
experience.
positive experience.
So that's the thing you deal with as you talked about earlier. Like, do you chalk it off as a marketing expense? Like, oh,
Right. But if you decide to do it and you have a bad night, it's not the artist's fault unless they made promises to you.
No, of course not.
Always be respectful, because they're putting themselves out there. I
No.
think some people are really rude to artists. and
I
that
mean, I
always
don't
gets me.
think that way at all. I think it's your restaurant, it's your ability to market and promote the event. Like, it's your fault that your restaurant's slow.
Right.
I hate to say it, but like they're just a tool.
Yeah,
to
just
get the
wanted
job done.
just wanted to throw that out there. We're not.
Yeah. Don't get mad at your artist. Get mad at yourself. Why is your restaurant not packed? Because you suck as an owner.
Yeah. No. I mean, the weather and other competing events and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I know we had
Play
like
factors. Sometimes it's just I don't know why we're busy, and sometimes it's I don't know why we're slow.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's the name of the game. I always guys, if you want to book your clients, be a dentist. Don't be a restaurant owner.
Right. What about community events? That's a good thing we do on the weekdays.
Community events. Give me an example.
Like spirit nights,
Gotcha. I don't do enough of those. I wish.
Girl Scout cookie thing, you
I've-
did that.
Yeah, I've done a few of those. I try to reach out with the local high schools and stuff like that, but I mean, I hate to say it, but like Chick-fil-A's got this thing on lockdown over here. They're like, we're gonna go Chick-fil-A, or like, I don't know,
$2 of every, $4 meal goes to. It's like they can afford to do it, right?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think being a Greek restaurant, like, I don't know, I guess it's a little intimidating for like high schools and stuff like that. They'd rather go to like their like local Dairy Queen or something that's more kid friendly, teenager friendly.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, us being a brewery, I was actually quite surprised how many
That's awesome. It's because you got all the moms and dads like, we
I guess
go over there.
Yeah. How many people want to do a spirit night?
Yeah, exactly.
And we're always down.
I think how many people want to do a spirit night and know that you would host a spirit night. So again, that goes to us as a communicating and building those relationships.
And we don't do all sales for the whole night. We do. You tell us you're here for this reason. We'll print out
10%
the receipt
or something like that.
We'll give you a percentage of the people you bring in.
Sure.
So at least there's some sort of buy-in. It's not like, oh yeah, spirit night, and then they didn't tell anyone, and then we just write them a check.
Yeah, I did it for
It has to be mutually beneficial, and I just think that's fair.
I think so too. Yeah, I did it for a church. And I think I did 10% of sales or something to that effect of people who are there for the church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do that once a month for a church, and it's worked out well.
Yeah, that's.
I hope we're holding our end of the bargain. And
hey, I mean, it's like us with our online ordering. It's better to have 70% of something is better than 100% of nothing. So
right,
if they can have 10% of something is better than 100% of nothing.
Sure.
So yeah, and everybody has a good time. It's a great cause.
Yeah, absolutely.
So events are really important. We also do events with like local organizations. I think we did Taste of Fire Wheel. We got to hang out and do those events. I do a lot of events where I bring in my tents.
External events.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing a lot less of those just because again, how much money am I really making off these events?
Well, the booth fees, $500.
I know. It's like you do $1,000 in sales, and then your booth fee is $300, and then your temporary health permit's $50, and then your labor's $120.
Clear goals, man. Clear goals, budget, meal planning. Yeah,
you've gotten bitten on a few of those too, right? Like
sure.
With Taste of Fire Wheel, you come out there and all these things,
Yeah, especially when they want you to give away the food and for advertising purposes. But they were real clear about that. That was the goal.
Yeah,
that they said you had. It was for advertising.
Exactly.
So if you don't want or need that, don't do it.
Yeah,
say no.
Exactly, 100%. I think I got one I'm gonna do. Taste of Dallas. It's I hate to say it, but it's more for me just to have a good time. I just really enjoy that event. It's a really, really great put on event. Almost like the Brewers Ball we did.
Oh yeah,
like it's like fun. Sometimes it's just worth it. You give a little food and now I'm thinking, man, I should have just bought tickets to the event. Probably would have been cheaper. But it's cool to be a part of those really fun big events. It adds a little clout to your name and a little bit more stuff like that. But yeah, no, I was doing a lot of those events where I would go and set up this booth and sell sandwiches, Euro sandwiches, and feta fries. And next thing you know, I pay $130 a month for a storage unit, and I pay all these things. I'm like, dude,
got 2 vans.
I'm not making
tents, jockey box,
all the things. I'm like, I'm not making money.
Yeah, but you kind of like, there's
Opa.
There's Opa.
Yeah, and we give
we're gonna go eat there.
And we give them coupons, and people do come show up to the restaurant after the event and all these
like
things.
the ones in downtown Rowlett.
Yeah,
I think those are still worth doing, right?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, if sometimes they are.
Maybe you have enough leverage now. You could say, well, I'll come, but I'm not paying a booth fee.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want me, I don't know.
But so now I'm focusing more on weddings this year. I'm trying to get into the wedding game.
That's smart.
I'd rather have a $3,000 check like before I even like.
It's kind of a catering, though, more than an event.
Which it's so funny because it's almost like trading your car in to the dealership versus selling your car. Like doing an event is like trading your car in. Like, oh, the event's there, so it's so easy to do. Mm-hmm. Versus like selling a car is like, okay, I have to go out there and like hustle and like try to capture. Not capture is the wrong word. Try to meet these brides and grooms and like see like do private tastings and come to the restaurant. Let's do a one-on-one private tasting, complimentary private tasting. Let me show you all the things I can do.
Like shows, bridal shows.
Yeah, so that's actually what we're doing this year is like going to the bridal shows and doing all those things. Okay. So
maybe we can team up on that.
Yeah, hey, if anything that I can do, it's always been anything I can do for you to make you money. I've always been, supporting you and all the things you're doing, Mr. Cary.
Yeah, so like if you can't make one or I can't make one.
Yeah, 100%.
We bring each other's stuff and we have 2 options at the same table.
Yeah, that'd be really awesome. That'd be really cool. So, if you got, by the way, before we wrap up this podcast, I know we're coming to an end. You've put those little spouts in your car. Have you got a chance to use those for an actual catering event outside the restaurant yet?
Yeah, we have.
You have? Tell me about that. What
we drilled holes in the van, right, and we put the taps on it. It has to be on private property.
Okay.
Basically.
So that's any property, right? Like a business property?
Or we can pull a permit. The problem is we have to the wedding that buys the beer from us has to come get the beer. We can't bring the beer to them.
So you're just facilitating. So they have to go pick up the kegs.
So basically, we're selling the beer, and then we're providing bartending services as two separate things.
So how do you price that out? Just out of curiosity. So they buy the kegs,
Right.
from like a keg distributor.
They can buy it direct from us.
They can buy the kegs from you.
Because they don't have a license.
Okay, so they buy the kegs from you,
Mm-hmm.
and I assume you sell them at like a not at the same rate that you sell them to me for, right? Like you give them like a.
It depends.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they buy the keg from you, and then you tack on a bartending service or whatever, a catering service,
Right.
Catering fee.
Yeah.
$200, $300,
Whatever it is to pay that bartender, and then that bartender hopefully makes tips.
Cool.
Yeah.
So it's worked out good for you then.
Yeah, I think so. We could do more.
Yeah. we could all do more, guys. We could all do more.
Right.
Yeah. So that's events in a nutshell. I hope that was helpful. I hope that motivated you to create an event, spark a little fire, and see that there's money that could be made by creating events.
Yeah, go to one of our Facebook pages or a local Facebook page of a restaurant that you think is doing a good job, and just scroll through their past events and get some ideas. And then see how you can make that event your own, and
kind of mold it, and draw inspiration from us as we draw inspiration from each other. So we'll carry it. Before we head out, just again, you guys check us out, realrestaurantradio.com. The website is up and running. We'd love for you to join our mailing list. Love for you to connect with us. This is all about you guys. This is almost like us volunteering our time to give back to the community, and we really enjoy it. So we'd really enjoy to hear from you guys. Cary, anything else before we head out for the day?
Nope.
All right. Well, we got to get to work. We got to go cook some food and brew some beer and all these things. So, Cary, I was going to say Cary, cheers. Cary, cheers, my friend.
Cheers. Got a real voice for radio there, man.
See you guys next time. Cheers, guys. Bye.
Our sorrows too. No more clouds, no more rain. I need sun to ease my pain. Before this night is over, I will guide you